I had a tough time waiting for this segment tonight because one thing you can rely on in this hour, we follow the money. And tonight, we are following Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, who is at the center of yet another controversy. ProPublica is out with blockbuster reporting on his friendship with Dallas real estate tycoon and Republican megadonor Harlan Crow. ProPublica reports Thomas has accepted mega luxury trips from Crow basically every year for more than 20 years without disclosing them. That reportedly includes flights on a private jet, vacations on Crow's super yacht, and stays at both Crow's ranch in Texas and private resort in the Adirondacks. Clarence Thomas did not respond to ProPublica's list of detailed questions, and NBC News has not independently confirmed this reporting. Crow said in a statement that he has never sought to influence Justice Thomas. Joining me now is one of the all-star reporters behind this story. I am blown away by the level of detail in this. Justin Elliott, he covers politics and government accountability for ProPublica. This thing is extraordinary. You point out one of these trips could have cost over $500,000, okay? Over $500,000 for a vacation paid for by a mega donor, and Clarence Thomas didn't disclose it. Have we ever seen anything like this from a Supreme Court justice?
You know, we had that question, and we actually put it to some Supreme Court historians, and they hadn't heard of anything quite like this. I mean, there was a scandal back in the 1960s that actually led to the resignation of a Supreme Court justice involving a cash retainer of only $20,000. So no one we talked to had heard of any kind of relationship like this. And we were shocked as we were doing the reporting of just the lavishness of this travel, as you described. I mean, the private jet we're talking about, it's a Bombardier Global 5000. These things rent for anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 per hour. So if you're flying to Indonesia, like one of these flights that Clarence Thomas took with Harlan Crow, the donor, that could be a multi-$100,000 flight alone.
But here's the thing that will cause people to set their hair on fire. As unethical or reprehensible as this may be, if it's true, is it technically against the rules? Did Clarence Thomas, was he required to disclose it?
We looked at that question very closely with ethics lawyers, and they told us yes. He had. There's a law that was passed back in the 1970s after the Watergate scandal that covers Supreme Court justices, that requires them to report gifts on their annual financial disclosures. And, it might sound technical, but the reason for that law is so members of the public, in this case, people with business at the court, can assess potential conflicts of interest, can look at these influence questions. And what these ethics experts told us is that certainly the flights and the cruises on the yacht should have been disclosed, and they weren't. So barring some information that we don't have at this point, they said these are apparent violations of that law.
Now let's talk about the influence. What do we know? What do you know about Harlan Crow? Has Clarence Thomas heard any cases that Crow has a stake in?
No direct cases that we've found that Crow has a stake in. One of the interesting things about the Supreme Court is it just doesn't actually take that many cases where there are named litigants. But what we know about Crow, besides the fact that he does have a lot of financial interests in the real estate industry, and the Supreme Court does rule on cases that matter a lot for the industry. But I think more relevant for this story is that Harlan Crow has been involved for many years funding conservative legal organizations that are, advocating for various conservative legal theories. We also found in our reporting that some activists and lawyers from that world were actually on some of these trips with Justice Thomas. And so it's really an open question what's being talked about in these vacations. I mean, these are very private settings, private jet, a yacht with a crew of people that are sort of taking care of your every need. So it's not easy to report this out. So we're still very interested in that question. And as you said, Harlan Crow did tell us in a statement that he's never sought to influence Justice Thomas, but very, very difficult to verify that independently.
I know I'm out of time. That was in Crow's statement. What did Clarence Thomas's office say to you? You said they didn't answer your questions, but what did they do?
Almost nothing at all. It actually took a lot of work even to get the Supreme Court folks that do that work to even acknowledge that we'd sent them questions. So absolutely no response from Justice Thomas before or after publication at this point.
Well, here's what I can tell you. They're all talking about it tonight. Justin Elliott, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your patience.